Hello viewers, you're watching Eco TV International News Hour, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. We now begin with our headlines. Standard rejects a defense minister's rebuttal. Independent Electoral Commission ought to consider reschedule elections. Honorable Halifa Sallah says PDOI is willing to join any government-led mediation in Senegal. No to alliance to contest Kanifing municipal mayor. Those were the headlines. We now have the news in detail. The Standard newspaper has said it is disappointed with a statement from the Minister of Defense accusing it of seriously misquoting Minister Serigne Morinjai during his deliberation at the National Assembly. The Standard ran a story on the minister's response to the member of Fonyi Councillor Almami Jiba with a headline, Gambia tells Senegal to respect sovereignty, quoting the minister's exact words in his response to Jiba's supplementary questions. However, the Ministry of Defense said the minister was misquoted seriously by the paper with an intention to misrepresent him. Below is the statement from the minister. The Minister of Defense wishes to clarify that the Standard newspaper edition of Thursday, 30th May 2023, intentionally misrepresented the remarks of the Defense Minister of Honorable Serigne Morinjai before the National Assembly and is therefore erroneous. Contrary to the Standard story captioned Gambia tells Senegal to respect sovereignty, the Defense Minister during a question and answer session before the National Assembly on the 29th of March 2023 in the answering question 098-2023 of the National Assembly member for Fonyi Councillor constituency, Honorable Almami Jiba, said that our land territory and airspace are part of our national sovereignty. Any use of our national territory should be with the express approval of the Gambia government. He further said that he is not aware of any instance when their airspace is land territory was used in violation of their national sovereignty to launch a military offensive in Casamance. On the drone and the artillery schedules issued per question answer 098-2023 by the same Honorable Member Minister Njai responded, we are aware of few incidents of artillery shells and other projectiles that landed on the Gambian site during military confrontation in Casamance, and we have addressed that with our Senegalese counterparts. That is clearly different from an international and well-calculated attempt by Senegal to use the Gambian territory to launch a military offensive in Casamance. The development and the unfolded did not seem to suggest that the Gambia and Fonyi in particular was the target of the drone attacks. The minister added they addressed the matter with their Senegalese counterparts so that their military planners and those responsible for making strategic targeting decisions will exercise extra care when making targeting decisions so that they can keep the conflict away from the Gambia. The Defense Minister reaffirms the commitment of the Gambia Armed Forces to the protection of the territorial integrity of the Gambia, which includes the Fonyis. In response, the Standard's editor Lamin Cham said the minister's rebuttal is unjustified and surprising because the minister's statement made its response to a supplementary question posted by the Honorable Jiba was heard by everyone in a video which is still available online, showing him starting exactly what has been reported by the paper. Mr. Cham said the minister's rebuttal only provided the minister's answers to the official questions from the National Assembly, which have been adequately captured by the paper anyway, and not these answers to a supplementary question, which is where the story was sourced from. They are making the video and audio available on their platform, and aliments that video for the public to judge. They are the standard, but always to work hard to the job diligently when and if they make an error. They should dutifully admit to it and run a correction. However, they could not allow anyone to unjustifiably blame them for the media in general as a means of running away from the implication of what might have been stated. Mr. Cham said, "This is the exact transcription of the minister's exact words when responding to Honorable Jiba officially and supplementary questions on the security of Fonyi from Senegalese drones, as well as whether Senegal respects Gambia's sovereignty. They have addressed this matter with their Senegalese counterparts so that their military planners and those responsible for making strategic decisions when they are calling for fire should exercise extra careful when making this targeting decision, so these shells and drones will keep the conflict away from the Gambia. It is imperative to note that the peace in Fonyi general area means peace in the Gambia, and security in Fonyi means security in the Gambia. That is why the Gambia Armed Forces is making its deployment in Fonyi area, that is supporting the 4 Infantry Battalion in Kanilai, both as a show of the force to restore confidence of the people and to keep the Fonyi in general safe and secure for the residents of the area to go about their normal businesses. They have engaged in Senegalese counterparts to make sure that such do not happen in their land and airspace. This they have addressed seriously. Let me make it very clearly, any use of our national territory should be expressed with the approval of the government of the Gambia. This they have expressed with their counterparts, that is the Senegalese side, and they must respect that their nation air and land territory is their national sovereignty and that they have respected. The question now arises whether from the above statement the minister is not telling the National Assembly that Gambia has told Senegal to respect her sovereignty, as has been reported by the Standard. Alhaji Mbaye, a retired civil servant, has urged the Supreme Islamic Council to engage the Independent Electoral Commission to reschedule this month's local government elections. Council's elections until after Ramadan and lent to allow unhindered participation in all citizens. The Electoral Commission is set to conduct the councilor's election later this month, but according to the 81-year-old Jeng, it is improper to conduct elections in this important period for both Muslims and Christians. You cannot conduct elections during the month of Ramadan and Lent. We are concerned that during the campaign, people will be dancing and drumming all over the place. That is unacceptable. So I call on the Islamic Council and the President to engage the IEC to postpone the elections because it doesn't tell well, and order elder too should come out and advise the Independent Electoral Commission, Mr. Jeng said. On a similar development, the deputy head of the mission in the Gambia High Commission in London, Suntung Toure, also urged the Independent Electoral Commission to, in the future, engage religious leaders before setting election dates. The Independent Electoral Commission is an independent entity. However, it will be good if they factor in the cardinal realities of the majority of the people in the country. Politics is a secular expression of one's opinion, wishes and desires. How can the Muslim month of Ramadan and Lent for Christians be a suitable period for holding elections with all the fanfare and the festivities it goes with, told the Standard? He said the Independent Electoral Commission, like other institutions, should adjust their thinking and conduct important events away from scared months of periods. It will make the election more historic and effective. The IEC should in future consult with the Supreme Islamic Council and the Gambia Christian Council to help make informed decisions that will avoid elections taking place within months of fasting, he added. He said the month of Ramadan requires that people keep their mouths and seek forgiveness rather. The opposition PDOIS leader, Honorable Halifa Sallah, has said his party will be open to taking part in the government initiative mediation in Senegal. Responding to a question about Responding to a question about what he thinks the Gambia government, opposition, and the civil society should be regarding to tensions in neighboring Senegal at a news conference on Saturday, Mr. Saleh said what can happen and what anybody in the opposition will be willing to do is to mediate. But in the mediation, you just don't get up and go. First, you have to be accepted by those who have a conflict, and they must be ready to listen to you. And when you begin to work on what the differences are and to narrow it to the point of ultimately giving them to accept in life in peace. Khalifa added that there are components people who must be willing to do, but fundamentally the Gambia government is responsible for what happens to the Gambia, even though it is capable of engaging in international relations. Nothing prevents the government from getting in touch with the government of Senegal in indicating that it wants to send a group from the Gambia to really help to look into their problem to assist. If that is done, he is sure if any member of the PDOIS is asked to join any delegation, he believes people will be proud to go to mediate, so hope that offer will be there in the public space, and that is the way to go. Commenting on the issues surrounding the area councils, Mr. Saleh said councils need to be reformed to be able to reach their full potential. All councils should have come from illegal, and there is a specialization on the Local Government Act and how they can drive maximum benefits because they are sources for funding. They are likely to have loyalties. How do you calculate that? How do you follow it up? They are also like to have investigations, but they do not invest to generate resources from the council. So there are many possibilities for the councils to be able to generate resources, he said. The PDOIS leader said purpose to engage in 2016 was to have a transition within 3 years, after which he will engage the population and all elements in their society to be able to look at their constitution, laws, institutions, administrations, and managerial practices to make them fit for their new public. Which resources Gambian will be created, but now they are engaged in the half-hearted measures that we call reforms. Mr. Saleh said the Gambia electorate should discuss the politics of outrage. Those who are claiming that the reason why PDOIS has not been entrusted with leadership responsibility is because PDOIS has refused to change its politics to adopt a politics of patronage need to be told that we have not seen what patronage has to be done, eradicated poverty. He challenged you to show me one politician to give $100 daily to 100 people every month. So these are what we call misconceptions. Those who want to put people into sleep continue to put in their heads, and unless these misconceptions are dismissed, we will continue to allow in ignorance, and ignorance will lead us from the gravel to the grave. In other words, live and die in poverty, he said. The Babili Mansa faction of the APRC will contest the Kandife municipal mayoral election. Credible sources confirm the standard. The group has already nominated councillors across the country. He is confirmed to you that he will contest for the Kandife municipal mayoral election. He have not been a decision yet to who will run under their ticket, but definitely they will contest and they will win, the group spokesperson Pam Modumboj said. Those were the stories for our today's news bulletin, but before we take a leave of you, let's take a recap on our day's making stories. Standard rejects a defense minister's rebuttal. Independent Electoral Commission ought to consider a scheduled election. Honorable Khalifa Saleh says PDOIS willing to join any government-led mediation in Senegal. No to alliance to contest Kandife municipal mayor. Those were the stories for our today's newscast. Thank you for joining us with your presenter, Maria Magdalene. Do have a wonderful day.